Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How are you, Deepali? How is the training
I'm
going?
fine, sir.
How is the training
It's
going?
going good.
So, so running is now 10 kilometers, 12 kilometers.
Sir, it's in progression. Firstly, they are making us run 1 kilometer. Last week, they made us run 3 kilometers, and in next 3 weeks, they will make us run 5 kilometers. By the end of the training, they'll make sure that we run 16 kilometers.
Okay. Okay. Right. So you want to escape yourself from this?
That is not the reason of giving this exam, but giving this attempt. But it is a very good experience of training in NPA, especially the physical aspect that you get to know that this was my limit, but I'm exceeding it every day.
You see, there was an article by an Indian Administrative Service officer, a very respected officer, and he has written that IAS has failed the nation. I don't know whether you have read that article or not. Do you agree with him that IAS has failed the nation?
So I've not read the article that you are talking
But
about, but I do not believe
there are allegations always by some people, some section of the society, that IAS has failed the nation. What is your view on this statement?
I do not believe that IAS have failed the nation. There have been steps that the IAS have taken that has improved our economic conditions, social conditions. Yes, there are challenges and lacunas that exist in the services, which needs to be corrected so that the allegation gets reduced.
3 negatives and 3 positives of this service.
Of Indian Administrative
Indian
Service.
Administrative Service.
Sorry, sir, which service exactly?
Indian
or the
Administrative
whole
Service,
service?
Indian Administrative Service overall. What are the 3 negatives about this service, and what are the 3 positives about this service?
So the 3 positive of Indian Administrative Service will be one, the diversity or the role that they play, whether it be education, women,
Okay.
all the fields. Secondly, the collaboration and the groundwork knowledge that they have, especially in the districts, that also help in the last mile delivery of services. And thirdly, the innovative decisions making that the Indian Administrative Services have done in terms of implementation is also one of the advantages. The negatives of Indian Administrative Services, one, it is still a white ivory tower that has distance from the people. Second, lack of mindset that is required by the whole, sparing spun some. And third will be uh,
Okay, you can't think of
nepotism that Indian Administrative Service is alleged to do so.
public perception is about the IAS and other services also that they are corrupt, that these officers in the public services are corrupt and they are haughty. What is your view on that?
Well, there have been cases where corruption charges have been proved, and but the negative instances become more come in more news than the positive ones. So the corrupt officers come in news more than the positive ones. So I believe yes, there is some corruption in in the services, but it is more localized to individuals rather than the service as whole.
You are aware of, you must be aware of the various acts, rules and regulations regarding corruption or checking the corruption in the civil services. Can you suggest 2-3 other innovative measures by which corruption can be really impacted?
So corruption can be really impacted one by digitization, which I saw recently during my drinking type case, where the instrument that was used, once you analyzed, directly channel was released, so that get integrated into the circuit. So corruption charges reduces. Secondly, there needs to be a change, mid-career change, checking of the officers, especially if they're movable and removable, so that those who are not efficient or are corrupt can be removed from, given voluntary retirement. And thirdly will be increased grievance redressal mechanism. So which citizens become proactive and they can lodge complaints against officers, which can be checked, and so that there is a double check on them.
Okay, thank you. Anand.
Deepali, let's talk a little bit on the subject of women empowerment. We all know that in independent India, a lot has been done in this direction of women empowerment. So my question to you is limited to what more needs to be done for women empowerment in India.
I believe that for women empowerment, there has a lot of steps to be done, but we need to now focus on intersectionality in women development, especially the women in the lower strata belonging to the poor background and are more vulnerable section like lower caste and tribals, which needs to be focused so that their empowerment once happens, their society, their group as community as whole will progress. That will require
Let's be a
education,
little more.
health, access to
Wait a
employment.
minute. Let us be a little more specific. What measures to be are required to be taken?
The measures will be one, education, educating them. Secondly, will be health, access to basic health access amenities as well as diseases, adolescent health. Third will be employment, that is skill development, local employment generation through self-help groups.
Got it.
And fourthly,
I'm correlating education with employment to some extent and the skill development. Okay. Now, I've come across statistics of a number of countries where there is reservation for women for jobs. In India, we have reservation for various other categories, but not for women in jobs. But there are certain areas where we do have reservation for women in India also. What are those?
so there are reservation for women now in 73rd and 74th Amendment Act in local bodies. Secondly,
Yes.
a reservation in jobs in certain states like Bihar for Bihar 33%, 30%
Overall, as a
reservation.
matter of policy in India, why not have reservation in education? Because we do have reservation in legislature, right?
Yes, sir.
So rather than having it in legislature, why not have it in education? If they get well educated, then they'll take care of it. So should we not have
Yes,
it in
sir.
education and jobs?
So, certain states have reservation for women in education, like Maharashtra for higher education.
Ignore those states where they already have it, but for the rest of India, it is not there.
So, I do not believe that education can be a pinnacle for achieving women empowerment. Rather than we should be focusing on giving them capabilities. Yes, education can be a building block or the starting block, but cannot be the highest goal. Where we just give them reservation and but we need to
So your
regular
point of view
monitoring
is
and
that we
feedback.
should not have it.
Sir, at early stages we can, for certain point of time with a sunset clause, but not on the longer term.
No, that's what we said about reservation for any other categories also. Right, in the beginning, it was for 10 years only. Anyway, let's
Yes,
change the
sir.
topic.
That is
Now, suppose you are an IAS officer, right? And you are working in Delhi after a few years, say 3-4 years. You are working in Delhi in the office of the Secretary of the Ministry of Finance. And he calls you and says, you are a bright officer, Deepali. This year's budget, 2026 budget, the finance minister has made an observation that now this time that we should widen the tax base. He was talking about the direct taxes, income tax, corporation tax, etc. Because very few people are actually paying direct taxes in this country, which is not in accordance with international norms and OECD, etc. And so come out with suggestions to your secretary for increasing the base of direct taxes.
to increase the base of direct taxes. One, we need to formalize the economy. That will require the manufacturing sectors to become more digitized and the employees becoming more from contractual to permanent, so that they come on the roll and we can detect them. Secondly, for even those in informal sectors needs to be now upgraded from through a SEAM portal and other Skill India portals to through PAN card, so that any money that is being collected gets also reflected in the tax
Okay,
portal.
informal
Thirdly,
sector is one thing. Something more.
So, secondly, will be the corporate sector. We need to focus on MSMEs to become larger, so that the tax base also increases.
But corporate sector, the scope is very little. The scope is more at the individual income tax rather than corporation tax. What can be done in that?
Thirdly, I will also say that agriculture, especially the larger farmers, now needs to be taxed,
Farmers should be
and
taxed.
the smaller ones can,
So it's time that
so
farmers
that
should be
we
taxed.
can.
You have worked in Maharashtra, you have lived in Maharashtra for quite some time. There are a lot of prosperous farmers
Yes.
over there. So they should be taxed,
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
Last question. What do you think about the loan waiver schemes? Again, you would have come across in Maharashtra. Before the elections, very often it is announced that the farmers' loans will be waived. Is it a good thing or not so? Or a bad thing?
We need to understand that loan waiver happens because when the farmers are in distress and they
No,
need
we know that
a
everybody knows
break from it.
everybody knows the reason. Whether it's a good practice or because when you do that, actually, the honest farmer feels cheated, who had paid off the loan in distress. So it's a
So I
question of
believe that we
ethics
should.
here.
So rather than giving a role waiver, we should have some other opportunities for the farmers which are in distress to get relief. And role waiver, especially during election times, raises eyebrows and is not a practice that should democratic country should be practicing.
Okay, thank
Thirdly,
you.
yes, in longer term, we
Got
need
it.
to make sure that farmers have sustainable.
Yes, sir.
Bihar, what would you ascribe the underdevelopment of the state to? 2-3 reasons.
So one is there is lack of industries that Bihar has. Secondly, the migration of brain drain.
No, that's a fallout of lack of industrialization. Why does Bihar have poor development per se?
So secondly will be the negative perception of people in terms of law and order, which makes other industries to get established there. Thirdly, connectivity issues. Being landlocked, we do not have access to direct ports that Bihar has. And fourth is also the disaster that happens in Bihar due to Kosi, especially the northern Bihar, which faces flood every year.
Any other reason? Because frankly, some of the reasons which you say are common to other states as well. Some other reasons which you can think of? Okay, let's forget about that. Now, there was recently some talk, in fact, the ex-CGI said that even in the SCs and the STs, there should be some differentiation, maybe like the creamy layer. Government, of course, said no, we are not going to go ahead with it. So what are the problems, legally and otherwise?
Legally, the challenge is that SC and STs are not classified on the basis of income, rather on the basis of the one untouchability in cases of historical untouchability in case of SCs, and STs have their own classification depending on geography, isolation, and geographical isolation, the poor development, and language and culture. That makes it difficult legally for them to be classified on the same terms as OBCs, which are other backward classes. One, and secondly will be the political challenges that will arise if we start creamy layer, and that will lead to more protests and law and order, public distrust or public discomfort.
Why so? Because someone from their own community, the Chief Justice of India, said so. Why do you think it will lead to protest and so on and so forth? No one's taking away the reservation.
Yes, sir, there is no one taking away the reservation, but one, there is lack of awareness about the policies among the ones who are on the lower strata, which are easily misdirected by the ones who are in leaders, who try to direct them or lead them. Secondly, the ones if they do not that is also a cycle of reservation that they get from their grandfather had it, their father had it, they will have it, and their children will have it, which will break if this law or the creamy layer comes into place, which is also one what an individual will not want.
All right,
So I
fine.
believe these are the two.
Why do countries find India, if at all, um attractive for FTS in your view?
I believe other countries find India attractive for FTA. One will be one is the consumer base because of 1.4 billion people that India
Okay.
has. Secondly, the diversification that Indian economy has in various fields of from skill, from manufacturing to IT electronics. Thirdly, the rising global power that India is becoming, which also make other countries to come have friendly relations with India.
How do we compare with Europe if we look at various parameters? Would Europe not be a jurisdiction which would have much more attractiveness?
In terms of
FTAs?
FTAs
Okay,
that
let
we
me
have
ask you one thing. Let me ask you, what is the GDP percentage of Europe as a whole? And therefore, would they not be considered more attractive?
sorry, I do not know exact data about
Make
the
a
GDP. I
guess,
will look
make a
into it.
guess, make a guess. What order would it be?
Support.
Hmm? What did you say?
Sorry, I
All
cannot.
right, let's forget about that. Now, Russia, Ukraine, how do you see it? Someday the war is going to end. How do you see it ending?
I see it ending with Russia gaining the power, hold of the area that it has captured, and a peace deal that will be brokered mostly by a developed nation, which in this case is USA, and Ukraine will sign a treaty or sign an agreement that it will not join NATO in future. So this is what I believe will be
You
the
see, Russia
consequence
wants
or the.
Donbass. Russia wants Donbass, and what is Ukraine willing to give? Ukraine has a proposal. What is Ukraine's proposal? Let's forget the other things for the moment.
Sorry, sir, I'll look into it. I have not. I do not know the nitty-gritties of it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Deepali,
Yes, sir.
your father is from Samastipur and mother is from Madhubani.
Yes, sir.
All right?
Yes, sir.
That means you belong to Bihar.
Yes, sir.
And in your choice of cadres in zone 2, rather than Bihar being number 1, Uttar Pradesh is at number 1. Why so?
Sir, one being that it is located near Delhi, and a lot of my family members also reside in Delhi. So that was one of the reasons that Bihar. I opted UP over Bihar.
That is the only reason or some other reason also?
No, sir. It is mostly about familiarity and
Okay.
connection through family.
You might have been reading about Epstein files.
Yes, sir.
What is that?
Sir, I'm forgetting the name of the person who is accused, but it is related
The
to
name is the same.
underage girls.
The name is the same.
So Epstein and a lot of powerful people are associated with him in some kind of underage girls sexual harassment and them being missing.
So, he being from a very developed country and the things were not detected for quite long and he kept on committing these crimes all through. What is your take on that?
He was also a powerful person and associated with powerful people, which made him escape those type of crimes as well as allegation and inquiry that should have happened to him. So this is one of the reasons why he was not wasn't
Under
focused
such
earlier.
situation, as you are saying, he had connections and very powerful person. Under such conditions, as an IPS officer, if you were in charge of the place, what would you do?
So, firstly, if I'm in charge and I get some information that these kind of things are happening, first I'll file a case and FIR so that I can start investigation against it. And this will increase pressure, and I'll do the necessary investigation that is required to make my case and the custody proofs that are required, evidences to produce in court so that this kind of activity stop.
Okay. There are new 3 criminal laws replacing the earlier ones. Why it was needed that these 3 criminal laws had to be enacted?
The older ones were enacted by the Britishers and was very much in due for revision. This new laws are now also reflect the newer society's needs. One is use of electronic media, that one can appear in court through video calls, special laws for women and children protection, criminal reform system use with the use of community services. So this was some of the changes that was required with the change in time.
Anything else?
So Section 144 is now removed, and UAPA and NIA laws have now been included. Thirdly, if I say, then snatching and phone snatching are now the new laws that have been included. Even mob lynching is also included. So newer, it also reflects the newer issues that we are facing, and laws that was not being addressed earlier is now being addressed now.
Terrorism? Terrorism.
So terrorism is also now included in Indian in the territory as well as outside the Indian territory is now also included.
Okay, last question. Samastipur had been some time in news. Why? Very long back.
So in 1975, at Samastipur railway station, there was assassination, which led to the emergency being declared and the student protest happening.
Thank you. Thank you, Deepali.
Okay then.
Okay, all the best.
Right. All the best.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you.
All the best.